Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Welcome to the Information Man Show.
BS3 Network, changing the way you listen to podcasts. BS3 Network is now on Roku TV under BS3 TV. Download today. You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Tell
What's
the
up,
truth.
everybody? Welcome to the program today. We're going to get into it today about this particular subject matter. I have a lot to say about this. I am going to look at comments in the comment section of this video, as well as I want you to leave comments. I'm going to look at what people are writing in the chat room right now. I'm going to pull up what you're saying and have a back and forth discussion with you as I get through my monologue right now. I found out about this. Look, we knew that this was coming down the pipeline on Michael Norwick, aka Brother Polight, that doesn't have much light. He has made many statements on social media about what he was going to do to content creators, that he was going to come after people, that he was innocent of all charges. He at one point in time put out videos claiming that he was not going to do a plea deal, and he has done a plea deal. Now, what he's doing now as that he's trying to change the narrative and make it seem like he's an innocent man being prosecuted for misconduct with a 14-year-old minor. He wants to make it look like, well, I just got railroaded for something that I didn't do. Ask yourself this question, everybody. Put a 7 in the chat room if you agree with me or however you feel. When people take a plea deal, it's usually because the odds are stacked against them and they're looking at doing a lot of time in prison. So they'll take a plea deal to get the less amount of time as possible. And I've got videos that I'm going to show you, as choppy as they are, of Michael Norwick, a.k.a. Brother Polight, jumping out of the window and saying out of his own mouth the tremendous pressure that he felt he was under to come to his decision, which is a decision that he raked people over the coals on social media when people had suggested that he was going to take a plea deal. He tried to deny it. Remember, I did a podcast on this channel when it was put out there that the judge, and I showed you the video when he was in court, that the judge was asking for his passport.
Tell the truth.
Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Come into the chat room. Give a little time. What's going on, East Dad? East Dad, let me mod you up, brother, because I know I'm modded up on your channel. There you go. Welcome to the mod crew, because you've had me modded up on your channel for quite some time. So I appreciate you being here. Make sure you share this video. This is a very important video, as I know other people have done videos about this. I hope that I can separate myself. I know Michi X had a video that she did, and I totally agree with some of the things that she had to say in her video as it relates to all the people that are responsible for this monster called Michael Norwick, a.k.a. Brother Polight. You have to look at people who brought him to you. Who were the people that brought him to you? The people that vouched him. You know, your reputation is based on how people think about you, what character you have, what principles you have. And when you vouch for someone, you're almost putting your damn reputation on the line, because there were certainly people who introduced him to us. Now, there's a community that's called the Black Conscious community, which I think is kind of stupid, because if you are conscious, then you don't need to reference that you are a conscious community. Being conscious is what it is. It's based on your behavior and your acts. So we don't need to put labels about consciousness when you're either conscious or you're not conscious.
Tell the truth.
And if they were conscious, they would have never been vouching and continuing to put this man on programs, continuing to promote this man to the black community. I have a question I want to ask everybody in the chat room. Share this video. Share this video in your social media. If you have a cellular phone right now, you can simply click where it says share, send it to your Twitter, send it to your Facebook, share it. If you're a community creator, share it in your community tab. It's very important. Because another question I have to ask is, in the social media community, why do you have black people in particular who introduce you to individuals who are con men, who simply get on the YouTube and use social media, should I say, as a way to rip black people off? This is the only people they target. Think about it. As if we don't have enough to deal with as black people in this damn world, that we have to be concerned that black people will get on social media and try to griff and rip other black people off. They use it to rip us off. Those, I'm saying, those who have that motive. Why do we have the Jay Morrisons of the world, who tells you he's going to create a Tulsa, Oklahoma real estate fund, which has found to be no funds. Nobody is getting any return on their investment, and he keeps moving the ball. He's quick with his mouth, fast with his mouth. And you know what a lot of these guys have in common? Like a Jay Morrison or even a Nature Boy. Who brought us Nature Boy? There's a lot of talk on YouTube about who's an agent, you're an agent. I think these guys are agents because they come from out of nowhere. They get big followings. But what value do they bring to the black community like a Nature Boy, Elijah Bishop? This man, as you know, is in a setting in a Atlanta, Georgia jail. They've got him on the R word. You see it there on the R word. False imprisonment, prohibiting or nude or sexual explicit electronic transmission of inappropriate sexual pictures that this man transmitted. And we've seen him on video over the years, the way he treats the women, the way he runs his coat. And we've been watching this crap all these years. And this man, how can this man get all these viewers? How can we as a black community, as black people, how could we even give this man, blow this man's head up? And now look at him. He's in jail. He's going to prison. Another usual suspect, Jay Morrison, as I said. This man has been conniving and jiving around with black people's money. Nobody has saw a profit. Matter of fact, you've got people who have trying to take him to court. You've got other brothers that have invested with him, and they say they want their money back. The Tulsa Real Estate Investment Fund is a fraud. And what he did is he used the Tulsa, Oklahoma, because we associate that with what? Black Wall Street.
Tell the truth.
And so what these shysters do, like Polight, is they use emotional charged words that they know black people will respond to. So these folks within the black conscious community will use phrases like, they'll talk about Egypt and pyramids and all type of funky shit like that. Yet they haven't built a damn pyramid. Where is our black pyramid in the 21st century? All these Negroes can argue and get into debates about religion. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I'm a Muslim. I'm a Moor. All these damn places that black people think they come from. Because y'all don't want to deal with the fact that you are them black folks that come from West Africa.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe.
You're ashamed to identify yourself with something that you think doesn't look good because you've been watching them Tarzan movies. Yet, Michael Norwork himself ain't even FBA, y'all. That's the truth.
Tell the truth.
He ain't even FBA. Nigerian. And he's been hustling, selling you on bullshit. Remember, he got himself caught up in the cargo scandal where he tried to act like he was involved in home investing in real estate, where he was selling these cargo homes for people that were in need. That turned out to be a big fraud. Why do we continue to allow black folks like this, because they can talk fast, they're good with their lingo, they make you feel good, they give you plenty of symbolism, which is one of the things that is our weakness, that we get bamboozled by symbolism that these guys bring you. They talk a good game, like I said, about Egypt and the stars and the metaphors and the dimensions and all this sort of stuff. They can get into all this sort of stuff about history, and they can break down and say, well, black people were originally from here and there. We are gods and kings, and they can talk all this magical, I would say, what we call magical type stuff. like this. He can talk, he can make you feel fuzzy all over with his words. He can lie and say that he's the author of many books, which is a lie. And he can get up here and lie about what he did to a girl or not did, and how he's being railroaded when he put his hands allegedly on this young lady daughter right here that he's with. He's changing the narrative. He's telling you folks that he had no choice because he was looking at 30 years, because in Florida, they go that magic. He's going to always use magic. That's one of the powers of these individuals like Polight, a Jay Morrison, a Brother Polight, and yes, a Umar Johnson, is that they've got these magical powers of persuasion, magical powers to tell you things that make you feel good, black folks, that you'll buy into anything that they tell you. You will take money out of your black pocket like magic and give them anything that they ask for, while they tell you that they can make you rich like magic, and why you're taking money out of your pocket to give to them, actually you're making them rich, and you are poor and don't have a pot to pee in. You don't have a pot to pee in or a window to throw it out of. That's the damn shame, and that is the damn truth.
BS3 Net.
I'm telling you all, it is the damn truth. BS3 Network you're listening to. The man got arrested back in February of 2021. Seems like a lifetime now. Where he was being accused of taking a 14-year-old girl of a woman he was involved with right here to a after party in which there was liquor involved, drugs involved, and there was some sexual misconduct from this man. There was talk about sperm and DNA, which he's trying to deny right now, as he has made his plea deal to take a plea for 7 years, and I believe he will get a 10-year probational period. But he's already telling you on social media it's all a lie. There was no evidence of this and that this woman right here simply wanted to ruin his life. And of course, you will have black folks on these YouTube streets, Negroes on this new YouTube streets and in social media and all over, particularly men who will justify and say, well, you know, these young girls, they're kind of fast today, and they will come at you. They will try to seduce you. And the mother, she should have been more better about her daughter and what have you. No, you're the grown ass man. It's just like the R. Kelly situation. I had folks come on a panel that I had a couple of years ago trying to justify it. No, I don't care what the laws are in this land about men with women. I don't care what the laws say, and I don't care about this whole thing about, well, these young girls come on. You are a grown ass man. You are a man of age. You have to protect yourself at all times, men. You have a lot to lose. No matter what a person does or you assume, it is up to you as the grown-ass adult to make the grown adult decisions. If you're dealing with an underage child, that's a minor. Therefore, you cannot hold them accountable for your weak decisions as a grown adult man. This is why Michael Nord, a.k.a. Brother Polight or Polight, is in this mess in the first place. Fast talking. He has sprinkled you with nothing but fast talk, cars and jewelry. Every time he's on a video, he's trying to act like he's a rapper or some type of entertainer. He's a real, like I said, he's a real pimped out J.J. Walker. I mean, a real good times. All right, a real J.J. Walker with a Big Mac and cheeseburger. It's about pimp culture. Let me show you what I have, because that's part of the illusion to make you think he's got more than you have, and that if he's got cars and women and all types of fancy things around him, then therefore he must be doing something right. Therefore, I can trust him with giving him my money so that he can show me how to invest, so that I too can be pimped out, so that I too can have women around me in a harem, so that I too can be super Jimmy Walker. So that I can be. And he's not the only one. They're all over YouTube. Ask yourself right now, who's the next Nature Boy? Who's the next, AKA Michael Norwick Polite? Who are the next ones out there who are going to bring you the next hustle? Because we got black folks like this using the YouTube streets, like the Jay Morrison, takes money from the black community with the promise of an investment that will return an investment, and hasn't even made a goddamn profit. And he's got people that are wanting to take him to court. He's got people that's calling him out. Who are the next con men that are coming down the pipeline that we haven't heard from yet, that we should be aware based on what these fools have done? Because Brother Polite, or AK Michael Norwick, him and Bishop are the same right here. They're the same men. This man, same thing. He acts like he's a pimp. He takes black folks to some godforsaken place somewhere in South America, acting like he's truly about nature, that they're highfalutin with knowledge, and they do the same thing that I just said before. You get some black folks that have some level of intelligence. They can tell you about stars and mountains and aliens and black aliens and flying saucers and UPAs, and they can tell you about the pyramids and how you are the chosen people and we're the original Native Americans, and even though Native Americans put black folks in slavery, how about y'all talk about that?
Tell the truth.
How about the Native Americans that were involved in bounty hunters? How about you talk about that?
Tell the truth.
But you get these kind of characters that can talk all this good pimp game. They can read books and regurgitate it backwards and forwards. Most of the time, they've got a history, criminal background. I believe Bishop, a.k.a. Nature Boy, didn't he admit that he was a dancer, that he would dance for men of the homosexual persuasion?
Tell the truth.
Didn't he get caught on video doing something nefarious towards a minor child?
Tell the truth.
Just like Michael Norwick, a.k.a. Polite?
Tell the truth.
Let's go with exhibit.
Tell the truth.
Let's go with exhibit A. As a reminder, he ripped off. Remember, the hustle is strong in the way Norwick operates. Remember, he ripped off Crypto Roots, ripped him off of what, $70,000, something like that, a family inheritance that he had. Let me show him again. I played this on previous videos, but this is a reminder. This is what led up to this man at a point now where he had to go for the plea deal. You don't take plea deals if you're completely innocent. You take plea deals when all the evidence is stacked against you and you've got no other way to get out of the situation but to plea, because he said it himself. He was looking at 30 years possibly. You're going to hear it out of his own mouth. But let's look at where this shit starts. With Crypto Roots, who he ripped off, who had a really weird experience watching how Michael Norwick, a.k.a. Brother Polite, operates. I ask you again in the chat room, why do black people like this get on social media to rip off, to manipulate, to mesmerize our minds with bullshit? Check this out.
The car opens and this woman comes in the car, and I'm like, oh, okay, that must be his older daughter. And then immediately she just starts fucking yapping, talking, like I'm like, whoa, like this energy just totally switched up in this car, and so we're like driving away.
Peace to
and she's
everybody in
just
the chat
nonstop
room.
gossiping and
Jill's
talking.
Chocolate
Polight's
Boutique.
just like silent.
Tell the truth.
I'm silent.
Black Anonymous,
She's
good to see you.
nonstop fucking talking, and I'm thinking, wow, this is awkward. This is awkward. And so I drive.
Embrace the villain. What's going on, brother?
To her apartment, park outside. She goes upstairs.
DOD,
and
what's up, my
She
brother?
comes back down, and she is dressed in some. She's dressed like she's about to go on a date. High heels, all tight shit, and ready to go out. Like, and I didn't realize what I guess this is. They want to go out on it. And so I was just thinking, like, wow, like, dressed like that to go out with your dad. Like, in the back of my head, I never said nothing, you know? And immediately I got the vibe. So, and then she switched up. She was like, da-da-da-da, and brought up money to Polight. And then Polite's like, let's not talk about that right now. I already told you to do. And then she's like, so what? Like, I already brought it up. Let's talk about it. And then she just went off. Like, you told me about this, and you said you're gonna give me this kind of money, and da 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 da. She starts flipping on Polight, and Polite's like, I don't know how you don't realize how disrespectful you sound right now. And she's just like rude to him. And then I was like, whoa, like this is awkward. Like this is a really awkward car ride right now. And she was like talking to Polight as if he was a boyfriend, like as if he was a boyfriend or ex-boyfriend or something. Like the vibe did not at all seem like father and daughter. And I'm not trying to gossip. I'm not trying to bring up. Somebody else told me this too that stayed with Polight. You know, like, what'd you think about that? How'd you think about it? Were you around that? I'm like, yeah. It's like, what kind of vibe did you get? And I'm like, that was a little bit more than a little father and daughter.
Tell
All right.
the truth.
As you know, if you don't know, you're going to know. Crypto Roots passed away some time back, but actually he went into an investment, one of these slick investments that Polight was putting out there. He gave Polight a substantial amount of money, and he ripped Polight. Polight ripped him off. From what I understand, and people in the chat room can confirm this for me, I think Black Anonymous, you know this, that Polight ended up giving money back to Crypto Roots, because if he was not running this con, then he would be able to fight this in court and say, no, we had a legitimate business working relationship. But he gave it back because Crypto Roots was able to catch him in his lie and his hustle. And these are the type of individuals that are running around on these social media streets and in our world. And I want to say this again. When it comes to these characters, these nefarious characters, you must ask yourself, because we always like to use this word as black people. This person's an agent, that person's an agent. You have to ask yourself, maybe some of these individuals that are very prominent, like a Polight, maybe they are the real agents. Maybe they are the real distractions. Maybe they're the ones to steer us in the wrong direction, because they all seem to, in the beginning, come out with all this talk about black this and black that. Next thing you know, they're trying to sell you something. Next thing you know, they're on a whole nother thing. Remember, Polight went out to California? Next thing you know, he's talking. First, he was talking all that pro-black stuff when he was back in the New York area, right? He was born in Brownsville, New York in 1983. Okay, Michael Norwick, the real name. Then he left. After he got himself in a pickle out there, he goes to California after talking all this pro-black stuff. And then you see him in photographs with white girls and what have you. And then what he does as a way to con you, as he'll go out to Hollywood. See, a lot of people who live in other parts of the country who have never been to California, seeing celebrities walking around the streets of LA, it's like a damn dime or a nickel drop. It's like fruit and flowers flying on the ground. No big deal. You see celebrities walking around. So what he does, he goes out there and takes these photos when he runs into a celebrity to make it look like he's bigger than you think he is, that all the celebrities are buying into him. Oh, Denzel Washington's down with Brother Polight because he takes a picture with Brother Polite. Or a Paul Mooney, the great late Paul Mooney takes a picture with. No, if you live in L.A., you live in West Coast, you can run into celebrities just like that and take a photo with them, put it out there and make it look like you friends with them. Hell, I used to see Danny Glover in my neighborhood walking around all the goddamn time. I would be shaking his hand. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Danny Glover? Oh, I'm fine. And he's taking a walk in the community. Or I used to see Robin Williams all the goddamn time walking around the streets of San Francisco when I lived in San Francisco. So this is what Polite does. He uses these images of him gathered up with people. Now, I know there's been some relationship between him and the boxer. What is the great boxer? Mr. I can't even think of his name right now, but you know who I'm talking about. Put it in the chat room, folks. I'm lost for thoughts on that one. But you just see him with people. Mayweather, that's right. You see him having a relationship with Mayweather, or what we think is a relationship. Isn't it funny how all these people that you think he has a relationship with, where are they at? Why haven't they made a statement on his behalf? Why haven't they come out and say, I support Polite? He didn't do this. You notice none of them are saying anything because he's not as important as you think he is. He's not even as important to the mainstream media. Most of when you go on Google and look it up, most of this shit is stuff from YouTube and various gossip blogs and what have you. But somehow he's been able to become popular on social media, and he has given no value to black people, which he grips from, which he grips you of your money, robs you with emotional chaos that he creates. And then you have people who co-sign or have co-signed his bullshit over the years. And you say, how did we get here? How did Michael Norwood get here? How did this all happen in the first place? Where did he come from? Who taught him this stuff? Who was his teacher? Remember, he tried to corrupt a young. There he is. That's what I mean. There he is with Paul Mooney, who look, it's a joke. You know how many times I've met Paul Mooney living in California? I used to see him in my neighborhood because his mama lived in the neighborhood that I grew up in. And I used to shake his hand all the time. But when you see him with Paul Mooney on there, you think, oh, Polite's doing big things. He's a famous person. Now, you see the picture in the middle when he was into the whole high spiritual thing, high pyramid talk, pyramid head talk. Then you see the picture on the right when he got down there to L.A. trying to live the Hollywood life or the Holly weird life. Then the picture to the left where now he's trying to be a pimped out J.J. Walker. You got to think about where's the mindset at. Let me read this right here. Grown Man Business gave me a $19.99 super chat. I appreciate you, good brother. Let me give you a clap. That's good people's right there.
Please make sure to subscribe to his
channel. That's good people's right there. That's Grown Man Business. Great channel, great man. He's the real deal. I want to give him respect. I know I saw he made he sent me a super chat, and I'm trying to find it in my system so I can put him on the board. But look, black grown man business. Thank you for that super chat, brother. I appreciate you. I acknowledge you. I know you're out there. Maybe you're in the clouds watching right now. Maybe you are inside the chat room still, but I just want to give you that respect and clap. Oh, reliable. Good to see you. Just Boom. Hey, what's going on, Bowman? Good to see you, brother Bowman. 06 to you. Now, let me also acknowledge I got another super chat here by East Dad, who gave me a $2 super chat, which I appreciate. You too as well, brother. Make sure that you do something, and that is make sure you check out, for the men out there, check out Grown Man's Business, okay? Right? Check out Grown Man's Business channel. check out his channel. He talks about issues that are important to manhood, important to black men, important to men in general, okay? And make sure you check out East Dad. He has a gaming channel, does it on a real high level, very entertaining over there, what he does on his channel as well. Clap to them again. And I want to say this again, everybody. I appreciate you coming over, showing out here in the chat room, being a part of what we got going on here. Yeah, it's about telling the truth. Let me show you where this all shit begins, because I've shown this video before in the past, but now we're going to bring it right on up. Where did this stuff come from? Why did Polite have this ideology? Where did it come from, right? Well, let's play this video that I've played before. Check this out.
Attention, he has shut up the Bible at a shooting range. He has even been on camera supporting a confirmed pedophile.
Speaking on Brother Polight, however y'all want to call it, let's say he molested 1,000 children. Factually. Okay. Genetic evidence and everything. Things that we don't deny. Scientifically, we say, wow, okay, true. If someone was to ask me, would you still worship him as your Most High, acknowledge him as your Most High God? I would have.
Tell the truth.
This is where it all leads to, folks. He's already corrupting the mind of a young man, saying that, what if my teacher, which would be Micah York, right here, Dr. York, the biography. When I tell you some things about Dr. York, it will all make sense. Some of you already are aware of this man. This was the teacher that he was talking about, well, what if the teacher had messed with all these underage? Would I still support him? Let's hear it again.
However y'all want to call it, let's say he molested 1,000 children. Factually. Okay. Genetic evidence and everything. Things that we don't deny. Scientifically, we say, wow, okay, true. If someone was to ask me, would you still worship him as your Most High, acknowledge him as your Most High God? I would have.
He would have to say yes. Okay, that's crazy. Now, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, because this is where Polite and many of those like Polite get this shit from. Whether it be a nature boy, they all are trying to be highfalutin and fly with their talk, their fancy talk. It's all about manipulating people. And I find, using my professional observation, now when I say professional observation, I've got years. A lot of people on YouTube like to play psychology, but I do psychology in real life as a therapist. And it is obvious to me that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree of this DNA that he got from Dr. York. And you know what's funny about a lot of these folks within the black conscious community is that you find out that a lot of them are not real doctors. They're just using these names. Dr. York is not a real doctor. They're not real doctors. They have no PhDs. They have no letters behind their name. They have no formal education. We just label these people things that they're not. These people are not doctors. They have no credentials, but we call them doctors. So we learned from this man that we call Dr. York, who has no credentials as a doctor. And you say, where does Michael Norwick, Brother Polite, get the flamboyantness from? Where does he get these ideologies from? Who taught him this? Well, he gets this stuff from York, or what people call Dr. York. And then you see the masonry. Look at this picture right here where you see him dressing up in the Egyptian type attire. But it's all, and then he's got the masonry attire. And we gotta look at this masonry shit with a real open eye. There is Dr. York, because he ain't no real doctor, right there with his whole masonry attire. And if you go back and do some research on masonry, what this shit is really rooted in, then you have to look at this with a side eye. Now, I know you've got Prince Hall Masons, which are supposed to be some of the original But you got to look at all of it with a side eye. This is the man that he gets his teaching from, who goes by the name Dr. York. But he ain't a real doctor. I say it again. But ladies and gentlemen, this is why it doesn't fall far from the tree. Let me play this one more time to make the point that I'm about to make right now.
However y'all want to call it. Let's say he molested 1,000 children. Factually. Okay. Genetic evidence and everything. Things that we don't deny. Scientifically, we say, wow, okay, true. If someone was to ask me, would you still
Thank you for being
worship
here,
him as your Most High, acknowledge him as your Most High God? I would have.
He said, I would have to still support him. Well, this is a man that he supported. This is where he gets this shit from. As I said, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You see, Malachi York, not Dr. York, because that's all bullshit. He had no degree in any type of field of doctoring. He got 135 years in prison. It was one of the biggest cases in which an individual was busted for a ring of taking advantage of underage minors, sexual abuse. But if you look at this real legitimate newspaper clipping, I want you to look at the face of what I call narcissism. And I also feel that a lot of these guys that you see on YouTube who do this sort of manipulation and trying to grift on black people, a lot of these guys are psychopaths. You hear what I'm saying? Now, psychopaths, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, tend to be people that are highly intelligent. They have good gift of gab. They have the ability to work the crowd. They are very good at listening and observing other people so that they can manipulate you by knowing as much as they can about you. And they're very quick on their tongue, very quick with their thinking, but they actually are psychopaths. I deal with it every day in my work capacity. They're good at manipulating people. That's why, whether it be people who are serial killers, these kind of individuals, the reason why no one never notices them in the beginning, why they don't get busted in the beginning, because they can blend in with the community, and you never know. You see, York was able to blend in by using the usual bullshit, which is, we all from Egypt. We all kinetic, right? We're pyramid people. We're sun people. We're God-fearing people. So he uses this whole Egyptian and masonry stuff to sort of mesmerize you. As I said before, mesmerize you with the magic. You get sucked into it because not only do they mesmerize you with their outfits, their goofy outfits, and their fast-talking tongue and saying things that hit your emotional heartstrings, that's how they're able to get a connection into people, to make you feel comfortable so that they can turn around later and do sexual misconduct towards you. Now, York is right there. His case was the biggest sexual misconduct towards minors in the history of this country. This don't let white folks off the hook that have been engaging in this stuff too now. But in his case, this is what he was doing. But I want you to see his face on this picture, because I'm going to enlarge the picture and look at the smile on his face. That is what a psychopath will do. You see that? You see the smile on his face. This is where AK Michael Norwick, Brother Polight, gets this shit from. He's smiling. Why are you smiling? You got a 135-year sentence. Because psychopaths think that they're smarter than everybody, that they can't be caught, that they're innocent of all charges, that they didn't do it, that they're innocent. And to this very day, he thinks he's innocent. Psychopaths will never admit their wrongdoing. It's always someone else's fault. That's the same thing that Polight does. When Polite is called out, he gets on social media and tells you all, I'm going to sue you and sue you and sue you. He gets on social media and say, well, I did a plea deal, but see, let me tell you why I did the plea deal. Never takes responsibility for his part. He simply reflects it on everything else. Well, they got laws in Florida that will put you in prison for 30 years, man. But never explains, but dude, if you are innocent, you wouldn't take the plea deal. He never explains how much legitimate evidence they had against him versus the shit that he wants you to believe was not against him. Because if you were completely innocent, you would not take a plea deal. I just think hens came home to roost on Polite. Hens came home to roost on Nature Boy, aka Bishop. Eventually, the universe, when you put evil and negative vibrations into the universe, shit is coming back to you eventually, either now or later, but it's going to come and hit you. It's going to hit you real hard. It's going to hit you real hard like thunder. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so that you'll never miss when I do go live over here on the Information Man Show. Now, this is about truth, y'all.
Tell the truth.
It's about telling the truth. This is where he got this stuff from. This man right here. This is the teacher that he talks about in that video who was convicted. Look at his mugshot. Take a look at that. That's the reality that he's not going to admit to. This is where this shit comes from. And you got people in this so-called black conscious community that at one point in time, they followed this York character, who they called Dr. York, who has no degrees, no credentials, just give a Negro any kind of name because he can spit a lot of fire out of his mouth that makes you feel good about yourself.
Tell the truth.
So we'll call him a doctor. A doctor of what? This is where Michael Norwood gets this stuff from, and all the rest of them like him. This is where the criminal gets it from. Now, let me show you videos of him now doing exactly what I'm talking about, where he's now playing the victim, where he's now trying to get into this explaining bullshit. Let's play the first one. Here we go.
Checked her feces, checked her urine, everything came up negative. You would think because of all the violent acts I was accused of, how I came inside of her, how I came on her face, how I bust her mouth open from penetrating her so physically, that there would be some kind of trace of something, some kind of DNA, but the rape kit came up all negative. So now we're in a conundrum. So how the hell how does the DNA just skip to a t-shirt and a headscarf? Well, the serologist that did the report that labeled it semen stains, when you got high-powered attorneys such as myself, then what happens is when you spend damn near 200 grand on your defense, you have the right to do deposition.
Basically, the truth. What Polite was saying there is that when you spend 200 grand, because that video was choppy, when you spend 200 grand on high-powered lawyers, he continued to repeat that he has a high-powered lawyer, that you have the right to deposition. But this is what I have to say. His whole narrative there is that there was no DNA evidence of what he did or what he was being accused of doing to this 14-year-old girl, this minor. But then the question you must ask, ladies and gentlemen, that if there was no physical evidence of what he did, then how could he come back and do videos where he's crying about, I could be doing 30 years. So that's why I plea deal. If there was no evidence that he did these things, then why would he take a plea deal?
Information is power.
Just something to think about, folks. I want you all to take that in. If you're hearing what I'm saying, put a 7 in the chat room, as I appreciate you all here. I think Angelica, I see you in the house. East Dad is here. Embrace the Villain is in the house. What's going on? That's AKA Bitter Truth in the house there. Peace to you. Check out Bitter Truth's channel. Quincy's in the house. Another CG is in the house. Dever Guns, one of my mods, is in the house there. Alicia is one of my mods in the house. RY is coming in the house. If you're getting what my approach and what I'm saying, even if that's his position, the thing that Polite does not explain, and even if the laws are harsh about the misconduct towards a minor, you still have not explained how could you be looking at 30 years, which is why he did a plea deal. They cannot give you 30 years if they don't have nothing compelling on your ass, if they don't have strict evidence on your ass. Let's hear him right here. Another whiner, another whine statement from him. Check this out.
Because I was facing life.
Boom. He said, because I was facing life. Listen again.
Victory because I was facing life. No parole, no probation.
Boom. Polite is telling you that he was facing life, ladies and gentlemen, and that he was looking
Tell
at
the
no
truth.
parole, no probation, which is why they got him in a corner and he took the 7 years sentence on top of I believe they're saying that he also would be on 10-year probation when he gets out. Now, he'll probably look, the way this shit works, he'll probably not even do the full 7 years. He'd probably do 3, maybe 4. We'll see how this works. They do give you time off for good behavior too. I don't want to see his ass out. But he's telling you right there, he was forced into taking the plea deal, but he doesn't tell you why. He tells you that he tells you why he took the plea deal, because of getting lots of time. But he doesn't tell you what is it that they had on him that backed him in a corner to take the plea deal in the first place.
Tell the truth.
Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Hit a 7 in the chat room.
Now you may say, how could this be possible if a minor was so-called molested and it was DNA evidence?
Say it again. I'm going to play this again.
Victory because I was facing life. No parole, no probation. Now you may say, how could this be possible if a minor was so-called molested and it was DNA evidence?
Now he says if a minor
the truth
was so-called molested and there were DNA evidence, but he's denying in the other video that I played you, he denies that there was enough DNA evidence against him by saying, hey, the kit came back and it said nothing there. But on the one hand, he says, I was looking at 30 years without any parole based on some DNA evidence. You see how he's flipping? Once again, where did he learn this stuff from? Maiakai York, or whatever the hell they call this man. He learned it from this man, the jailbird right now, that he'll be joining, or at least he'll be going to prison just like him. A man that he said, I'll have to go with him no matter what he does.
However y'all want to call it. Let's say he molested 1,000 children. Factually. Okay. Genetic evidence and everything. Things that we don't deny. Scientifically, we say, wow, okay, true. If someone was to ask me, would you still worship him as your Most High, acknowledge him as your Most High God, I would have.
All right.
Tell the truth.
Right there, he's saying that I would have to worship him as my, still as my God. What's going on with Doe Eyes in the chat room? Jill's Chocolate. Who else do we have here in the chat room today? We got Judah Queen in the house. East Dad's rocking with us. A lot of great people rocking with us. RY. We got TY, Mac, MC Kitchen. Everybody that's in here, I give you a clap. Now, let's really give you some value here. So after he said all that stuff right there, folks, then here's a video that he put out on Instagram. I'm going to play it for you. And he's once again trying to say, this is the video where he's trying to say after he's done the plea deal. After this is the narcissist at work, this is a psychopath at work, right? They get themselves in trouble, but then they deny that they are really in trouble. They deny what they did by blaming it on everybody else but themselves in the system, never taking any accountability for their own actions. So Brother Polight, after he's already done the plea deal, which he got on social media prior to this a long time ago, telling people, hey, I'm not taking no plea deal. You guys are lying and putting out misinformation about me, right? But he did take the plea deal, which I played the video where he says he was looking at 30 years to life, no parole. And now that he's took the plea deal, he gets on social media and still wants to make it look like it ain't his fault. Remember that song? It ain't my fault. It ain't my fault. So now he wants to get into, oh, the mother put the daughter up to this. The mother did this. The mother did that. Oh, but you're the grown ass man. See, I don't believe in blaming other people for my actions, whether it be male or female. If I'm the grown man that's supposed to be responsible for myself, then you got to make the adult decision. He failed that night. He failed to make the adult decision with this woman's child. You can blame the woman. You can do all the blaming you want, but you're still the man who has a mind, and you should be able to think for your damn self. Listen to this right now, folks. Listen to this.
And later that, within a day, within 24 hours, she filed a criminal complaint. Let's add some more color to it. Do you know that the same day that I broke up with her, in my text messages is proven, she said she was going to destroy my life. She was going to fuck my whole shit up. So we have motive. Do you know that I wasn't the one that asked to take her daughter to a...
I'm going to tell you something right now.
Tell the truth.
Even if a woman tells you that they want to mess your life up, and if you didn't do this, why did you take a plea deal? You only take plea deals because there's too much compelling evidence against you. Everybody in the chat room, I'm talking to you as well. What do you think? Even if it was true that she said she was going to ruin his life because they broke up, and he's talking about text messages. Okay. Why wasn't the evidence of his text messages that him and her went back and forth about? Why wasn't that enough evidence to make him innocent of all charges? We got to think logical here, not emotional. Logical. What is he not telling us about the evidence that they had against him? See, he's editing what he doesn't want you to know, but he's telling you what he wants you to know because, once again, as a narcissist, as a psychopath, he has to put the blame on someone else, never himself, for his own grown man decisions which was a bad decision.
More color to it. Do you know that the same day that I broke up with her, in my text messages is proven, she said she was going to destroy my life. She was going to fuck my whole shit up. So we have motive. Do you know that I wasn't the one that asked to take her daughter to a party after 2 a.m. in the morning? Do you know my text messages say? She contacted me and asked me to take her daughter out to a party after 2 a.m. in the morning, and I vehemently declined because I said, what the hell do I look like as a grown man taking?
Boom. If this is true, everybody,
Tell the truth.
if it's true that he refused to take her out to a party, if it is true that the mothers solicited him to do so, why is he looking at a 7-year stint and did a plea bargain? Why is the mother not involved in being put in jail or prison? If this is true, what he's saying, why wasn't it not enough to keep him out of doing a plea bargain? He just said out of his own mouth, and I played the video or videos, that he was looking at 30 years and no parole, because in Florida they have strict laws about doing harm to minors, in which you can get 30 years maximum minimum. But if what he's telling you right there is factual proof that he has, then I got to say again, ladies and gentlemen, why is Michael Norwick, a.k.a. Brother Polight, born 1983 in Brownville, Brooklyn in New York, why did he do a plea deal if all of his information is so compelling that it should change the tide? Ask yourself that. Use logic. Let's continue.
14-year-old that obviously looks like a minor to a party. Y'all don't know that, though. All of this is in my text messages. Y'all don't know that, though.
But why did you get arrested?
Then you should be clean.
Why you did a plea deal?
But unfortunately, the mother turned her daughter in. The daughter got high and intoxicated, and because I'm not the one that turned them in, now we dealing with child abuse and delinquency.
You hear what he's saying? He's saying that
the truth.
Because of the child laws in Florida, that the mother turned her child in, and because the child was under the influence of drugs and liquor, that somehow he got pinned for this. You see, what he's doing is he's reflecting. He's trying to make himself out to be the victim, when in fact, if he was not involved in this, he would not be looking at having to do a plea deal. He would have not been why he was arrested. Remember, he was arrested in February of 2021. He was held in jail. And the only way and the only reason that he got out of jail, according to Brother Lex, who I played on this channel sometime back in my podcast, the only reason why he got out of jail and was able to make bail that night was because of a clerical error. Hear what I'm saying? There was a clerical error.
Tell the truth.
It was reported that there was a clerical error which allowed a.k.a. Michael Norwick, Polight, to be able to post his bail and get out and run around the YouTube streets and call those of us out for calling him out and saying he was going to go after everybody and sue everybody. Now he's sitting up there talking about, well, because of the laws, and this is the bullshit of a narcissist, of a psychopath who is still trying to figure out a way, even though he's did the plea deal, how he can still come out to be the victim while making everybody else the enemies. You see, this is the strategy.
Daughter got
Tell
high
the truth.
and intoxicated, and because I'm not the one that turned them in, now we dealing with child abuse and delinquency of a minor. If they could, so I'm like, let's fight it. So my attorney's like, I just want you to understand that this child abuse in Florida, aggravated child abuse, from the child being intoxicated, they can give you 30 years in prison.
Did you hear that? They can give him 30 years in prison. This is what this is really all about. He's angry because they were going to throw some heavy time on him. So he took the plea deal. But I want to know from people in the chat room, do you take plea deals because you're truly innocent, or do you take a plea deal because the evidence is too overwhelming and your lawyer tells you the only way you can get out of this really bad situation is to take the lesser time so that you can throw yourself on the mercy of the court? What do you all think? Old Reliable says, grown up 10 miles from prison, they got something for him. Yeah, they got something for him in there. Let me see. Thank you, those of you. If you hear what I'm saying, you get my point. Put those sevens in the chat room. I really appreciate that a lot. We got Quincy, who says, work the ranch system. Oh, man. I wonder did her snitch on someone? I wonder did her snatch on someone? What do you mean by that? What's going on, Great Pill? RY, good evening. Let me see what my man Villain, a.k.a. Bitter Truth, says. Once he gets held down in his cell and gain ard, he'll look for a early way out. Yeah. Well, what they'll do, because I know this very well, Bitter Truth, better than most, they'll put him in protective custody. He'll PC up. What I think he'll do, if he feels scared, he feels he's going to be victimized in there, is that he'll probably PC up. How will he PC up? He'll act like he has mental health problems. He'll act like what they call a J-cat. So he'll act weird, act like he got psychiatric problems, and then they'll evaluate him, and he'll try to figure out if he can get himself in a psych program within the prison system out there so that he can do time in a more relaxed, not such a hot environment. I deal with guys like that. They're trying to escape from one institution to another, so they'll fake mental illness, say they're hearing voices, saying that they have anxiety, that they can't sleep, that they start moving around all funny. They'll do everything they can to survive so that they don't go back to the main line and be in those prisons or in those environments where people can get to them. So I would imagine that AK Polite Michael Norwick, at some point in time, if that's the case for him, he'll do what he needs to do so that he can PC up, get a better situation for himself. Maybe do something where he can get a single cell and not have a cellmate or someone he has to deal with. All sorts of things are a possibility. All sorts of things are a possibility for this guy. Let's go back into the chat. Chuck Morgan comes in and says he was influenced by, yes, he was influenced by York. You came into the show late. I've already laid that out as part of my premise. Everybody in there will tell you he was manipulated by this man. He was influenced, should I say, by this man. And stop calling him Dr. York. He's not a doctor. He has no degrees, no doctor certifications in any field where you get the doctorate degree. There's a doctor of medical, and then there's a doctor of what? You could be a doctor of philosophy. You could be a doctor of black history. You could have a PhD in psychology. This man has no credentials. He's just as fraudulent and a fraud as Jay Morrison or a bishop here, as you know, as Nature Boy. There is nothing doctory about a man who laughs like this with a smile on his face when he gets 135-year sentence for the deed. Yeah. Yes, sir. I've been talking about this. I've talked about that. That's where he got it from. That was his teacher. That's the man that he praised on this video.
However y'all want to call it. Let's say he molested 1,000 children. Factually. Okay. Genetic evidence and everything. Things that we don't deny. Scientifically, we say, wow, okay, true. If someone was to ask me, would you still worship him as your Most High, acknowledge him as your Most High God? I would have.
Terrible. It's terrible. Terrible. I say it again. What he said was terrible. And that's where he got it from, York. Not no damn
Tell
Dr.
the
York.
truth.
York. That man has no credentials. Another psychopath, another narcissistic personality. Let's continue this from the man who still wants to be in denial and make you think that he's innocent, even though he took the plea deal.
So my attorney's like, I just want you to understand that this child abuse in Florida, aggravated child abuse, from the child being intoxicated, they can give you 30 years in prison. I'm like, man, take the goddamn agreement. If, under what circumstances, if they can convince a jury that whether you gave her alcohol or you was aware that she was high at any point in time and you didn't turn her in, but since the mother did, you could be subject to 30 years. So I said, let's make a goddamn agreement, man.
But this is the thing I want everybody to understand. What's going on in Embrace the Villain? How did this is where he's not making sense. He just told us on a video that I played for you that the mother asked him to take her to a party and he said no. So if you had no contact with the daughter that night because you didn't take her to a party, when you got arrested, it was reported that you took her to a party, you took her back to the hotel room, had your way with her. Then the question you have to ask, he just said he wasn't taking her to a party. So why is he not explaining the contact that he had with this young lady as it was alleged that he had? He's sitting up there telling you that the mother beat him to the punch by turning her drunk and drugged up daughter into the police so that she wouldn't get charged. But somehow poor little old Polight got charged. Doesn't make sense because he just told us in the other video that he refused to be taking her anywhere. So the question is, how did Polight get caught up in this in the first place? If he is truly innocent, why didn't they discipline and put some harsh penalties on the mother? Why is it just Polight? Why did they say that there was DNA evidence? Now he's trying to deny that the DNA evidence came back on him. At the end of the day, he took a plea deal. You don't take plea deals if you're innocent, sir.
And let's work this thing out. So still got to sit down somehow, some way, but it is what it is. Blessings in abundance is bittersweet. Oh my goodness. And more information is going to come out, and this shit is far from over for all the lies that was told on me.
Now, this is the narcissism again.
Tell the truth.
He came out earlier, sometime back, saying that everybody that says that I'm going to take a plea deal, you're a lie and the truth's not in you. Then he turns around, takes a plea deal. Now he took the plea deal and he wants to convince you and me that somehow, the mother beat him to the punch by turning the daughter in, but somehow he got in trouble. Then he wants to convince you that the mother, oh my God. Let me find that video again before I end this.
Checked her feces, checked her urine, everything came up negative. You would think because of all the violent acts I was accused of, how I came inside of her, how I came on her face, how I bust her mouth open from penetrating her so physically.
This is the video right here.
I was facing life. No parole, no probation. Now you may say, how could this be possible if a minor was so-called molested and it was DNA evidence?
Boom. He says DNA evidence,
it
right?
It would be some kind of trace or something. Some kind of DNA, but the rape kit came up all negative. So now,
if the rape kit came up negative, why did he take a plea deal? He claimed that he had a high-powered lawyer, everybody.
we're in a conundrum. So how the hell how does the DNA just skip to a t-shirt and a headscarf? Well, the serologist that did the report that labeled it semen stains, when you got high-powered attorneys.
Boom. Then he said this about he didn't take her out.
And later that, within a day, within 24 hours, she filed a criminal complaint. Let's add some more color to it. Do you know that the same day that I broke up with her, in my text messages is proven, she said she was going to destroy my life. She was going to fuck my whole shit up. So we have motive. Do you know that I wasn't the one that asked to take her daughter to a party after 2 a.m. in the morning? Do you know my text messages say? She contacted me and asked me to take her daughter out to a party after 2 a.m. in the morning, and I vehemently declined because I said, what the hell do I look like as a grown man?
So if he did decline to take her out, then how did he get caught up in this in the first place? And now he says that the mother took the child to the police, pressed the charges, I guess, against him, based on what the daughter may have told her, what had happened to her. Then there was talk about DNA evidence, which he tried to deny in the other video. How do you go to going, then how do you go from looking at 30 years? I want y'all to really hear what I'm saying here. I'm trying to make some sense. I'm trying to make some logic of this, even though it's an illogical world that we live in.
Tell the truth.
How do you go from saying that you're looking at 30 years with no parole to taking the plea deal if you've been railroaded, if it's not true, and there's no evidence? You have to have evidence. You have to have compelling testimony, of course. And he just said out of his own mouth that he had text messages that proved that he said no to her about taking her out, and that the mother wanted to destroy his life because he was breaking up with her. But yet, if any of this, if you think that Michael Norwood, aka Polight, is making no sense, or he's just trying to, once again, blame it on everyone else but himself, put a 7 in the chat room. Because I think this is the classic narcissism. This is classic behavior of a psychopath, or someone who never takes accountable for the shit that they do.
Taking a 14-year-old that obviously looks like a minor to a party. Y'all don't know that, though. All of this is in my text messages. Y'all don't know that, though. So you say, well, then, Polight, then you should be clean. I should be, but unfortunately, the mother turned her daughter in. The daughter got high.
Okay, if the question is that Polight should be clean and the mother got high,
the truth.
Then you have to ask yourself,
the truth.
If this is true, then he should be innocent. He should have his lawyer, his high-powered lawyer, as he says, should have been able to eat through all of that in a room, in a courtroom of law, in a room of law, a courtroom. So that's the question. If he's innocent, and this is all about the mother going to the police, pressing the charges, then shouldn't he been able to beat the charges if he never did anything with the daughter because he refused to take her anywhere when it was reported that he took her somewhere? And even if he did not take her to a party, how did he get in this mess in the first place? I think you get yourself in this mess because it goes all the way back to the pimp culture. He wants to be swagged out. He wants to be, I want to show you that I'm a man of adventure. I'm a man that can manipulate many women around me. I'm the man. And he learned it from his daddy, his main daddy himself, which is this fool right here, York. And he feels that, and people that are narcissistic and psychopaths, they feel that they can do anything. They feel invincible. that nothing can
Tell
stop them. They
the
have
truth.
a high sense of themselves and how they see the world. Psychopaths see people. This is how psychopaths think, y'all. Psychopaths see people as just instruments that they can manipulate and maneuver over here. They see you as an instrument on a chessboard. They make a chess move using you to get what they want. Why do we have black people who get on social media to manipulate and get over and grift other black people, and then you have black people who support them, black people that praise them like they're gods? We have a serious problem in our community with these type of characters. And I always wonder, where did they come from? Who co-signed them? Are they a plant? Could they be an agent? We already know that Malcolm X had a guy that was on security who was working for the police, for the feds. History has shown us that you have people who are working for the system that are used to come into the black community, come into the black social media sphere, and to try to derail and manipulate the message. That's why when we talk about reparations and we talk about many things that black people need, and you have a black person who comes in and says, oh, black folks don't need no reparations. Or you have some black person that comes in who claims to be a police officer and try to tell black people, oh, cops ain't that great, ain't that bad. See, all the things that you went through personally with police, oh, it's a figment of your imagination. So let me really tell you how policing really works, or tell you that policing didn't come out of slave patrols. Any Negroes, anybody running around like that, talking like that, trying to disrupt the message that we're on, you have to look at them as a spy, as an infiltrator, as a manipulator, as an agent. Thank you for the super chat, Alan Christian. Alan Christian, let your I think it's your cousin or your nephew, let him know that I did get the emails and I will be in contact with him to try to set a date for the interview. We got another young man, like the young man that I interviewed, who goes to who's becoming an engineer, computer engineer. We have another young man I'm going to interview who's going to medical school. Okay, so let him know, Christian. I will get back to him through email so we can set up a schedule to get him on the show. I appreciate the super chat and all that good stuff. Let me give you.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
And here's that super chat stuff.
Thank you
for the super chat. Thank you. And this is for everybody that super chatted me today, whether it be Grown Man Business, Alan Christian, East Dad. Thank you.
Thank you for the super chat.
Time to run it off. I wake up. Yeah. I wake up. Flex. Thumb down now. Check. No drip. This. Wet. Time to run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Time to run it off. I wake up. Flex. Thumb down now. Check. No drip. This. Wet. Time to run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Time to run it off. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands. I'm by my lonely.
Tell the truth.
Turn to a savage. Now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans. Don't need no friends. I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ and Tom Brady. I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check. No drip, this, tell them run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch, tell them run it off.
Tell the truth.
All right. I appreciate you all for the super chats today. Let's get back at this as we get close to conclusion. I'm going to look at some more of your statements in the chat room and pull them up on the board as soon as we get through this right here.
And intoxicated, because I'm not the one that turned them in. Now we dealing with child abuse and delinquency of a minor. If they could, so I'm like, let's fight it. Let's fight it. So my attorney's like, I just want you to understand that this child abuse in Florida, aggravated child abuse, from the child being intoxicated, they can give you 30 years in prison.
All right.
Tell the truth.
Polite wants you to believe that his lawyer told him that he told his lawyer that he wanted to fight it. But the lawyer said, well, when a child's intoxicated, you can get 30 years. But what Polite doesn't tell you is, how did she get intoxicated in the first place? How did she get the drugs in her body? If he's truly innocent and he didn't do anything to this young lady, why would he not fight it? Evidence should show that he did not serve. Did he serve her liquor? Why does he not tell you the other information? He's simply saying, my lawyer said that I can get 30 years because she was under the influence. How did she get under the influence when you said to us that you told the mother that you weren't going to take her to any party? So how did liquor and the drugs in her system come into play? If I'm asking the right questions, folks, put sevens in the chat room. How did it come into play? Curious Minds wants to know.
Tell the truth.
How? How, Polite? Tell us how. You like to tell us about all the money that you make, how you have all this independence and wealth. You like to flash the rented cars that you have. You give us good detail when it comes to all these schemes on how to rip black people off, but you don't give us the full explanation. You leave out very, very much the details. Well, my lawyer said that in the state of Florida, if a child's under the influence, but the question is, how did she get under the influence? Did she go out and buy liquor herself and drink it herself? Or did you purchase it for her? How? And even if she went out and got her own liquor, how did you get caught up in the mess when you said you wasn't taking her anywhere? Why were you alone with her? Why did you not tell that she was under the influence of something, Polite? Why didn't you take her to the police when you realized that she was under the influence? Why? You said to the mother that you weren't taking her nowhere. So how did it happen?
I'm like, man, take the goddamn agreement. If, under what circumstances, if they can convince a jury that whether you gave her alcohol or you was aware that she was high at any...
If you didn't give her alcohol, why would you be concerned? And if you didn't put her...
is power.
That's right. And if you didn't put her under any influence of narcotics, why were you worried? Because maybe, just maybe, folks, just maybe, oh, just reality, the man is guilty is all get out.
Information
Tell the truth.
is power.
Play that again.
Goddamn agreement. If, under what circumstances, if they can convince a jury that whether you gave her alcohol or you was aware that she was high at any point in time and you didn't turn her in, but since the mother did, you could be subject to 30 years. So I said, let's make a goddamn agreement, man. And let's work this thing out.
So now he tells you that he told his lawyer, let's make the agreement. Let's work this thing out. But in previous videos in the past, he said, I ain't taking no plea deal, and you all are crazy who believe that. You see the effery here? Listen some more.
So still got to sit down somehow, some way, but it is what it is. Blessings in abundance is bittersweet. Oh my goodness. And more information is going to come out, and this shit is far from over for all the lies that was told on me.
This is the
Tell
question.
the truth.
What lies, ladies and gentlemen, what lies have been told on Polight that have not already come to light? What lies have been told? Oh, I'm going to tell you, this is the work of a narcissist, a narcissistic personality. This is a work of a psychopath. Blame it on everybody else. While he tells you on right there on that video that he took the plea deal for those reasons. Then he turns around and says, but there's been lies told about me. But wait a minute, you haven't addressed the fact that if your lawyer told you that they would try to convince a jury that the child had narcotics and was drunk, then the question is, Polight, Michael Norwick, a.k.a. Polight, born in Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York, 1983. Why can't you fight it? Why can't you fight it? If you didn't give her liquor, if you didn't get her drugs, if you didn't bring her to a hotel and do things to her, if you didn't bring her to a nightclub, even though you say the mother was trying to convince you to do so and you said no, and what grown man, then how did you get in this mess in the first place back in 2021, February of 2021, down there in Florida, I believe, in Miami? Why? Why, Mr. Party Man? Why? Ladies and gentlemen, let me look at some of your statements in the chat room.
Tell the truth.
Before we end the stream today. If you got some value out of this stream and some good enlightenment about what's going on, or if this stream just reinforced what you already thought about Polight in the situation, put a 7 in the chat room, as I would appreciate that. I appreciate you all. Tell the truth. Let me go in here and look at, let me see what we got in here. We got my man, Bitter Truth, better known as Embrace the Villain, says his public defender lawyer. Right, but wait a minute, Bitter Truth. He told us that he has a high-power lawyer. I played the video clip, a little choppy there, but he said constantly that he had a high-power lawyer. And what we do know about his lawyer is that he's known for cutting deals, right? He's known. That's what I know he's known. What's going on? We got Angelica in the house. She says, the Great Pill is here. Let's get Angelica in here. She says, Rosalind Law Firm was trying to wash their hands of him. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for saying that, my sister. You brought some added perspective. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was put out there that the law firm that represented this monster, Polight, was trying to get rid of this fool. They were trying to get him out of their hair as quickly as they possibly can. This pimped out Jimmy Walker. This pimped out JJ. All right? Thank you for that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What's it? Latiette 7. Thank you for that 7. We got Peggy in the house. Jill's Chocolate. RY, thank you for coming in supporting. I've seen some of your writing in the chat. Alan Christian gave me another super chat, $20 super chat. Preach information, man. Thank you.
Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you very much, Alan Christian, for supporting the channel like you do. Definitely appreciate it. I will be in contact with your family member to try to get him on the show to address the issues around him going to medical school. And we do need to see more black folks involved in professional type of fields. We got Calden's Way. One says that they abuse other black people because we do not have a punishment mechanism. Right. I'm glad you said that, because the reason why black people do these things to other black people, because we don't see There is no punishment. They don't fear the punishment mechanism. You're right. And look. We wouldn't let white people and other groups of people come in and con us, right? But we'll let our own people, and I get it, our own people con us because we want to believe in our own people. We want to believe in a man and a woman, a black man and a black woman is honest and hardworking, and that they're trying to sell us something that's going to be for our benefit. But you got to beware of these shalligans. I'm going to tell you some of the traits that you should always look for. I never trust fast-talking people that talk over you, talk real fast, and you can't understand what they're saying, right? I never trust people who give you this get-rich-quick scheme plan. Anytime they're talking about, you can get rich, you can get this, and you wonder to yourself, why is everybody else not doing it if that's the case? So always beware of fast-talking people, people who always have a scheme about how you can get rich real fast without any hard work. Beware of those kind of people. Beware of people who like to drown you in emotional symbolism and start talking to you about history and pyramids and spirituality and all this sort of E.T. Foam home type shit. This type of shit right here that Dr. York was bamboozling black people with. This type of shit right here, right? Fancy, costumes and goofy hats and using Egyptian symbolism to bamboozle black people into a belief system or a cult. The same thing that Bishop or Elijah Bishop, aka Nature Boy, did, which is why he's looking at the same similar type of charges, right? The same bullshit that he's been doing.
Information is power.
Which is a damn shame. I gotta re-emphasize these things, folks. Definitely have to re-emphasize.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth is right. So let's go back in the chat room, read some more. Put those sevens in there. That's my new symbolism over there. Put those sevens in there. If you're either feeling what I'm saying, if you agree with what I'm saying, if you see some validity in what I'm saying, if you see some validity, hit those sevens. Plus the sevens in the chat room gets the algorithms turning. We got the Empress Goddess is in the house here. Thank you for coming over and supporting the channel. Thank you. Patora Afro is here. She says, this monster needs more time. Yes. We've got BTK Killer. What's going on? Thank you. And we got my man, DOD, who came over to support today. Make sure y'all get over to his channel and give this brother support. I want to thank him. He came over to my sports channel the other day and supported me over there. DOD, I made you a mod on the sports channel, brother. That's the Prime Sports Media channel. If you like football and you like what's going on with Prime Time, Dion at Colorado and all the stuff that's happening around that, check out my other channel, Prime Sports Media. I got about 16, getting close to 17,000 subs over there. Get a lot of big support over there. Check out that channel. You'll find it on this page of this video. That is the Football Sports channel. Go and join that if you are interested in that type of content and what have you. So thank you, brother, for coming over and supporting the channel the other day. And make sure you get over to DOD's channel and give him a subscribership. Let's go over to the beautiful some chick named Star who's been rocking with us for a long time. She says he is broken. This reinstitutes to the victim. Institute the victim is only 25,000. Restitution. He is broken. He is broke. Polite is broke. His restitution to the victim is only 25,000. Yeah, because all them cars that he be showing you and all them little fancy condominiums and stuff that he be in, he don't own none of that shit. That's renter stuff. He renting them cars. He borrowing it from somebody. He don't own none of that stuff. He don't own none of that stuff because if he had all that money that he's been trying to convince black people that he can teach you how to make money, he would not have he would have a real high power lawyer. He would have had big time lawyers, not what he had in this case. Even though he claimed he had high power lawyer, that guy wasn't no high power lawyer. Michael Norwick is one big fraud. One big fraud. We got my man, Big Dog Philly OG, saying peace to everyone. Thank you, brother, for coming over. Make sure y'all check out Philly OG, Big Dog Philly OG's channel. My man, George Macomb, Street TV, I think he was in the chat room. I missed him earlier. Peace to you if you're out there listening, my brother. We got King Lion Crown says, hi, fam. What's going on, fam? Clap to you. What's going on, brother? Yeah. I see you saying facts. Facts. You know I'm bad with pronunciation, brother. You're going to have to come in with... Woo, boy. Somebody I wanted to put up here. Make sure you check out... Oh, Glenn Simpson's in the house saying, text green, game over. Game is over. That's right. And him says, I flagged his IG. You flagged his IG page? Okay. Did you flag it because there was something on his IG page that wasn't appropriate? I didn't know that you could flag. I know you can flag YouTube videos, you know, but I didn't know that you can flag a IG video. I didn't know that. RY says the only one lying is him. Yeah, I think he's lying. He's doing what I'm saying. He's a narcissist. He's psychopath, whatever you want to call it, and he's blaming it on everything else. What's going on, Juna Queen? Peace and love to you. Judah King Queen been rocking pretty hard over here. I'm gonna have to be looking at monetization, modding you up, and also my man Jonathan Kidd too. I gotta be looking to mod some of you folks up that's rocking over here hard with me these days. Let me see. Jonathan Kidd's in the house, so peace and love and respect to you too, brother. And to all the sisters in the chat room, all great audience over here, always the best audience. Let me see. We got Dark in the house with that 7. I like that eye logo that you got on your avatar. Peace. Okay, Jonathan says this. Jonathan Kidd said he took the plea for 7 instead of the 61 years. He's trying to mentally masturbate. Yep. Masturbate himself as if he's done nothing wrong. Fact. And Jonathan, I don't know if you saw those videos I played. I played the videos where he's talking all this arrogant stuff about, well, I didn't do this. I didn't do that. They said that if I didn't take the plea deal, that they could get me on this child being under the influence of drugs. But see, I didn't take the child out. But he never answers, how did he get with the child in the first place? How did the child get the liquor in her body? And if she was drinking liquor, why didn't he do something? But he blames it on, well, the system is against me. The minute you do things wrong, you allow the system to be on top of you. I'm telling you, black folks on these YouTube streets, stop following these.
Information is power.
Stop following. Thank you, Big Dog Philly OG. Stop following these con artists. What am I talking about? The Jay Morrisons of the world. Stop following them. Of course, anybody that comes at you with any type of energy like a Bishop here, which is Nature Boy, because I'm telling you, there are going to be guys that are going to replace them or try to replace them. There are going to be guys that are going to try to fill that void. Anybody that comes up behind any of these individuals acting like them, get the hell away from them. Don't support them. Don't support these type of individuals. They don't mean us any good. If you got individuals who are trying to grift the black community out of money, lying to you about their products, manipulating you, fast talking you, using emotional symbolism, because black people love symbolism, emotional symbolism. You got to beware. You got to beware. You got to.
Tell the truth.
All right. Peggy Roster's in the house. Let's see here. Angelica says, don't forget to like. Yeah, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, as I get ready to end this, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to put this video on your Facebook, your Twitter, and any other social media that you use. And don't forget to put this in your community tab if you are a content creator. I really appreciate everybody coming over today. We had a nice big crowd today, rocking with Information Man. I appreciate all of you out there. It's been great. Once again, make sure you check out my other channels. Make sure you check out the Prime Sports Media channel. It's growing like wildflower over there. Of course, I still have Information Man Speaks podcast channel. Haven't done anything over there in quite a long time, but we'll be taking off the dust over there pretty soon, sooner and later. Have a lot of stuff going on, but definitely check out those channels. Support the channel, as you have been doing a great job. Let people know about it, because like I said before, YouTube, I think, is shadow banning me. They don't like to push the content out because this is going against their agenda. They want us to waste our time with characters like Polight so that we can be lost in bullshit. They want us to follow these type of people who mislead us, misguide us, and misrepresent themselves. And they have individuals who introduce them to us, who you have to look at with a side eye. Let's see. R2 says, this man is sick. I wouldn't be surprised if the other people in the camp are like-minded. That's not too far-fetched. There will be more sad cases. Leave the kids alone. Leave kids alone. And we should not put our kids around these hustlers, these 2-bit hustlers. Let me read this right here by R2. The hotel has cameras. Uh-oh, wait a minute. I forgot about that. I should have brought that up too. When he says he didn't take her to no party, that's right. They probably caught him on camera. R2 is saying this, the hotel has cameras, and on top of that, I'm sure more women came forward quietly. The mom spoke in the courtroom saying she did not. Oh, I don't have the rest of the message. Wow. You know what? They probably had him on camera. If he said he didn't take her to no party, that's why. Wait a minute. It makes sense why he took a plea deal. Because they probably had camp. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm only speculating here. I'm only alleging this, but I would imagine if he's saying he's innocent, and the reason why he took that plea deal, once again, because you take plea deals when the evidence is too strong against you. Maybe, just maybe, I'm speculating here, just maybe they had, thank you, R2, maybe they had camera evidence that he did take her to a party or to a hotel, because they could probably pull the cameras. Hot damn.
Listening to Information Now. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel.
Hot damn. Angelica, do you know anything about that? Was there anything put out about cameras? If they have any camera footage on them? Because that means that he lied. That if there's camera footage of him bringing her to that party, then game is already over for him, because he's doing 7 years, plea deal. But that would put a hole in his statement about, I didn't take the daughter out nowhere. That would put a hole in his statement. From a G perspective. Hey, I love G perspective. The one thing you never do is plead on anything related to pedophilia if you're innocent. From the G perspective, brother, please, thank you for those statements. Everybody, make sure you check out From the G Perspectives channel. Brother's been following me lately. Check him out. From the G perspective, thank you for that statement right there. I want to say peace and love to Stephen Gilmore YouTube channel who's come over. Make sure you go over and support his channel as well. Give him a subscribership. Alicia is in the house. Thank you for supporting me on all Alicia supports me damn near on all platforms I'm on. So I gotta let you know I really respect you for rocking with me on all different platforms, all different content that I'm doing these days. Really appreciate you. Let me put you on the screen real quick. And she's put another, she put my price. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Love you for that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me see. And Jill's Chocolate Boutique, she has a channel as well. So give her some love and support. DOD, I told you before, he says peace to me. He has a channel. Give this brother support. Get over there in his chat room when he goes live. I'm certainly want to get over there too. I got you. I'm getting you back in my algorithms, DOD. You know, YouTube has a way of knocking people out of your algorithm. And remember, I told you all this before. YouTube will unsubscribe you from people's channels that you follow. You go over and you say, wait a minute, what happened? I thought I was subscribed. You're unsubscribed. So keep that in mind. They still playing that game too. And then you wonder why you don't get the person's notifications when they're live because YouTube has unsubscribed you. Little game that they play. They don't want these type of channels. Oh, wow. Hey, Great Pill Podcast, brother. I know a long time ago you tried to invite me on your show, and I unfortunately didn't get to the link in time. But yeah, brother, I still want to let you know that you keep doing great work and keep doing your thing on these YouTube streets, brother. And I like your perspective, about various discussions that we be having over there when we be over there on Black Men Unfiltered's channel and stuff like that. You have great perspective about things. I'm going to get ready to get on out of here, folks. Much love and respect to you, big dog, Philly OG. I have a lot of respect for you. Keep doing your thing. But see, Philly OG, don't go nowhere. I want to show you something because I've heard you talk about this before, brother. Check this out. Now, this Mordecai York, who we think is a doctor, right? Who ain't no real doctor. We've been lied to. Go do the research. He ain't a real doctor. You know what he's into because I've heard you talk about this, right? You see on this picture where they got the Egyptian get up, right? He's got the masonry stuff in the background, right? They got them goofy little hats, right? Here he is right here in an older picture with the whole little masonry thing around, right? And you know that masonry, there's some issues there, right? With that. There's some issues there, right? And the same man, when he was convicted, brother, of 135 years conviction, this is York, who was the teacher, the master teacher of Polight. Look at how he's smiling, man, after he was convicted. Look at how he's smiling.
Information is power.
That's some sick shit. That show you right where his mindset is, right? That shows you what type of man
Tell the truth.
Polight was adhering to, and many others like him. It's crazy. It really is crazy, folks.
Tell the truth.
Well, with that said, everybody, we're going to get ready to get out of here. Jill's Chocolate, thank you again. TYMC Kitchen, thank you for being here. Jonathan Kidd, thank you for being here. Beverly Palmer, I see you. Black Anonymous, thank you for coming over and supporting as always. Let me see here. Let me read what Angelica had to say. She says, you got You got it. Think about it. Wait a minute. You got it. Think about it, information man. Rawson Law Firm, based on their content, is a pro-Trump, especially his attorney, David Torres. Why? Ooh, man, you dropping gems. Why would? Wow, thank you. And Jonathan Kidd, DNA does not lie. You are 100% correct about that, my dear brother. Who did I miss? Bevla Pamela is in the House of Information Man. Hey, much love to you.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Now, let me go over to him. Him said this. Yes, you can flag. I didn't know this. Yes, you can flag an IG. He's talking about the mother in the door. Yeah, right. Because he's under a court case. He was involved in a court case. He can't use social media to badmouth the mother and the daughter. That's right. Good point. I give you a clap. That is so true. Thank you for that information. I really appreciate that. Let me see what we have from my man from a G perspective. Contributing to the delinquency of a minor, i.e. giving them alcohol and drugs, isn't a 61-year sentence, maybe a fewer years, but more like, let's see, more like a pro. Yeah, the message cuts off because I have my font on my lettering is a little enlarged, so it cuts it off in a little bit. But I get what you're saying, brother. Let me see. We got a good sister here who's coming to the house. Queen is here. She says, excellent live is all. Hey, thank you, Queen. Thank you. Doing the best. Hey, I'm doing the best I can. Let me see. Dark is here. Dark Titan is here saying, good evening, information man, and chat. Thank you, Dark Titan. Thank you. Let's go here. Thank you. To love myself 100% puts a 7 in the chat room. Thank you. And Gray Pill Podcast, he has a channel, so check him out as well if you want to, if you'd like to. Deborah Guns is in here giving some love. Beverly Palmer giving some love. And folks, as much as I hate to go, I've got to go. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my evening. And once again, if you like sports, you like football, go over and check out what I'm doing on Prime Sports Media. The channel's growing like wildflower. I'm at about 16,000 or maybe getting 17,000. I don't know. Every time I go over there, my numbers are going up in the air. It's sports, so people like sports. And then, of course, what I do over here is social, is more about political, cultural issues, current events, things that are happening in the news, and events that impact black people over here. So I appreciate that. We got Jay, the informant, that comes in the house, and he's coming in to look. For those of you who come in late, please watch this again from the beginning, because there's a lot of key things that I talked about and I showed in this video today that you need to see. We got Sister in the house. She says, hey, this is Sister Zachariah. I wish I could say that name correct, but she says, hey, everyone, remember, they have DNA video in the... Oh my God!
Is power.
See? Wait a minute. Now I gotta show that video again. Stand by, everybody, before I leave. Which video do I need to show? There we go. The one, here it is, when he talks about he didn't take her to no hotel. Let's hear it.
Daughter to a party after 2 a.m. in the morning. Do you know my text messages say? She contacted me and asked me to take her daughter out to a party after 2 a.m. in the morning, and I vehemently declined. I said, what the hell do I look like as a grown man taking a 14-year-old that obviously looks like a minor to a party? Y'all don't know that, though. All of this is in my text messages. Y'all don't know that though. So you say, well then, Polite, then you should be clean. I should be, but unfortunately, the mother turned her daughter in. The daughter got high and intoxicated, and because I'm not the one that turned them in, now we dealing with child abuse and delinquency of a minor.
Tell the truth.
All right, everybody. Polite clearly said that he refused to take her to the party. He said, what would I look like doing that as a grown man? But we're saying, hey, how you can end the lies and the bullshit is through evidence in the hotel that catches them on camera. Right here it says, remember, they have DNA videos in the hotel and in the parking lot. He is guilty. He's guilty as sin, everybody. He's guilty. He's guilty. He's guilty. Thank you. Angelica dropped some Jews in the chat room today about this issue. These are you know what these are? This is logic. We're using logical thinking and reasoning. Logical thinking and reasoning. Everybody, he took a party, he took her straight to the hotel. Wow. Everybody, I got to get out of here now. Y'all take care. I appreciate you. I have to end the program, but everybody, I'll be back with more presentation. Thank you for your support. Thank you, another CG. Thank you for the super chat too, my brother.
Thank you for the super chat.
DOD, thank you for the $10 super chat, my brother. I really, really, really appreciate you a lot for that. I really do. Thank you. And here we go as we get ready to get out of here.
No drip this, time to run it on. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch. Time to run it. Y'all gon' make me take that trip way out to Europe. I call up Nigeria, come through in a hurry. Those London boys don't come to play, you should get worried. One false move, find yourself, they get me.
Tell the truth.
Take care, everybody. Peace.
Tell the truth. Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is power. Information is power. Information is power. Make sure to subscribe to his channel. Information is power.
You've been listening to the Information Man Show.